I'm watching the mainstream media this morning, that bunch of people that always lie. Um, they're telling us, the liars that they are, that the protesters arriving in Ottawa are peaceful. Okay. Now, for once, I'm going to have to believe the liars. I'm going to assume that the liars are just this once telling the truth. Okay. So let's assume then that it's a big demonstration that has jammed up Wellington Street and Lord only knows how many other streets in the vicinity. Um, and they are behaving in a peaceful manner. Okay. The whole country is watching this unfold. Now, I would hazard a guess that a lot of people are going, phew, good. So far, so good. I can imagine that also a large number of people are going, oh, come on. Like they might not even want to admit this to themselves, but they feel disappointed by this or angry perhaps. They are in some way not disposed to approve of the fact that there isn't violence. Now, why would someone want there to be a riot right now in Ottawa? I can see how, say, one of these undesirable people who allegedly has latched onto a convoy and is now going to run amok in Ottawa, and the truckers as a whole will be blamed for it. Okay, these people may or may not exist, right? They may exist, and such a person would be disappointed by the fact that there's no violence in Ottawa, right? Other people might not want to engage in violent activities themselves, but they would like to see it happen, right? So they're disappointed. But some people might want to see it happen just because they've been in lockdown long enough that they're bored and they just want to see something exciting happen, right? I have to admit to a little bit of that myself, but it's what I'm getting at is a lot of people are actually we're looking forward to a fight. Now, I've mentioned rubberneckers like myself. To a certain extent, I'm a rubbernecker when it comes to this. Or right-wing extremists who were spoiling for a fight on the lawn of the Parliament buildings with, I don't know, riot police or something like that. Maybe they imagined the Governor General's foot guards in their red serge tunics and big bearskin hats. They'd be fighting them. I don't know. They have betrayed a shocking ignorance of how Ottawa works. So how do I know what they expected Ottawa to be like? But I imagine there's people on the left who are disappointed, right? Or just cynical politicians like the Liberal Party of Canada, who are hoping maybe, Trudeau was hoping that he could emulate his father in his just watch me moment, where he would say, like everyone thought that his father was a wimp until the War Measures Act of 1970, and Trudeau Sr. got the opportunity thereby to show that he was anything but a wimp, right? Just watch me. Now, his son has the W tattooed on his forehead, a lot worse than his father ever did, unfortunately. He is kind of seen as a wimp, and he kind of doesn't really have a problem with being seen that way, or he doesn't seem to. But if you looked at it in terms of not wanting to look like this anymore, he wants to look like a tough, decisive leader. If there was a riot, that would have given him the opportunity to show some backbone, I guess they would say, or show some cojones and bring out the mailed fist. Send in the riot police. The riot police just break heads if there actually is a pretext for it. And then Trudeau gets on the TV screen and says, yes, and I don't apologize for the fact that I ordered them to break all those heads because there was violence, etc. Trudeau could actually have wanted there to be violence, right? I don't think so, but if he's a smart politician, he would have allowed for that possibility and how to exploit it, right? People on the left think about this. Now, unfortunately, I'm a progressive. I'm on the left myself, and I know that this is true. A lot of people on the left want people who engage in behavior like this to be racist, nasty, horrible people. It simplifies the narrative, right? Just like, people on the right want to stereotype me as I don't know what they would stereotype me as, but, I can imagine. People want to stereotype a lot of working class white Canadians as violent, racist rednecks. Or anti-vaxxers. People want to demonize these people, right? People want to demonize anti-vaxxers, not just the demographic thing, but the anti-vaxxer thing and the crossover between the two groups that I'm sure I'm not the first one to have noticed. If you're disposed to want to demonize that group of people, or if you fear that demographic, if you fear anti-vaxxers and their activities, if you fear working class white right-wing Canadians, you kind of want them to do that. That way you can sort of justify taking a mailed fist approach against these people. Now, that I'm not saying that people on the left are like this. No, definitely not. But such a thing does exist. I'm willing to hazard that probably 90% of Canadians are quite happy that there's been no violence. Anything can change. It could be changing as I speak. But I think most Canadians are happy. But some people, 10%, I don't know, want there to be trouble. And they are as diverse as Canadian society itself. The people who are involved in this convoy are incredibly diverse, and so are the people who want violence to happen today. Isn't that grounds for optimism? 90% of us just don't want violence and are glad that it's turning out like this, and only 10% are disappointed. I think that that's a win-win situation. Choose life and let's hope things stay peaceful.